Hello and welcome to another episode of Bare Bones Wargaming, a show with no bells, no whistles, no frills, just a man, a camera, and his game. This episode, I know I've been away for a while, about a month and a half I guess it's been since I did my last video, and things have been going on, different things. Some things that have been taking up time, but also I've been spending a lot of time working on one of my, I don't know what you want to call it, bucket list, lifelong ambitions to try and make an Alexander game covering all his campaigns. I've been spending a lot of time working on that. I think I have the first part figured out, sorted out, trying to make it a solo game, and also trying to break it down into different regions for the campaign. When I feel like I've got a little more fine-tuned, I'll share with you guys what I have so far. But I've been doing a lot of research. I've read 4 books about Alexander in the last month. I also did some reading on Pyrrhus of Epirus, because I'm hoping once I get this design worked with Alexander, I can take the system and apply it to Pyrrhus as well, who's another one of the ancient world generals that fascinates me, which, by the way, there's not a whole lot of reading material out there about Pyrrhus, so anywho. So that's what I've been doing a lot of, plus some family things have been going on. Excuse me. But I'm back. As I devote most of my time to working on my design, I've also been playing some ancient games here and there. And I recently picked up Ancients Deluxe from Guts to Gunpowder, and also reacquired a couple of the GBOH games, the Alexander and the SPQR ones, which of course cover naturally Alexander and Pyrrhus, which is where my interest and focus lie. But having played those, I felt like the Ancients was a little too light, and the GBOH is a little too heavy, so I'm hoping to find a spot just right in the middle. So I picked up some games to kind of address that. One of them is, I'll just mention, I'm not going to unbox here, because this game's been out for a while, the Table Battles, and with the Alexander expansion, naturally. So I'm going to give that a whirl because that seems interesting. I like the dice rolling aspect of it. And my wife has enjoyed playing Dice Masters, the Marvel Dice Masters game. So hopefully I can entice her to play that because it's kind of a same ballpark format kind of thing. But the other game I decided to get to try, which of course covers Pyrrhus, is a game that came out very recently here called The Grass Crown, from also Hollandspiele, Battles of the Roman Republic. Now I know it says Roman Republic, but I'm all about the big P man here, so to speak. So I just got this today. It just showed up, and like I said, this just came out pretty recently. There's not too many people who own it from what I see on Board Game Geek. So I thought I'd go ahead and unbox it, take a look inside with you, and see. I think there's around a dozen battles that are in this. And this is one thing that, let me finish the plastic. There we go. One thing that jumped out at me right away about this when I got a hold of it was this part here. Is just like, that has got to be the thickest box I've seen from Hollandspiele. So I'm kind of curious to see, you know, again to quote Bad Brad Pitt, what's inside the box? Well, we're going to find out here in a second. So let's take a look. This is typical, you know, Hollandspiele kind of design. It's kind of, well, I don't want to say we're basic, but I guess I kind of do want to say the word basic. The back is pretty straightforward too. It kind of makes you think of those old-fashioned SPI, Avalon Hill kind of things. You know, nothing too fancy on the back, but it does have your components and stuff. Okay, so let's see what's inside. Okay, first of all, interestingly enough, there are some 8-sided dice. That's something you don't see in too many war games. Off the top of my head, the first one I can think of is Where There Is Discord. Then we've got a rule book here, The Grass Crown. So let's take a look and see what exactly we have inside the rule book there. And of course, you know, this is all printed by Blue Panther Games, which you know, when you order directly, I guess when you get it, period, that's how it comes. But I always order directly from Hollandspiele because it's just easier, in my opinion. So let's see here. Let me get this open. Okay, some serious columns that have seen better days, clearly. Nice color in illustrations, excellent. Showing different types of units over here. The map board is squares, which is a little different. You know, usually we think of our hexes and areas and stuff, but this sucker's got squares. So, nice color, nice big font for those of us like myself that are pushing pretty. And I'm sure, judging by what I saw on Board Game Geek with a recent poll of, you know, how old are we and stuff, somebody posted, I forget which user, but was basically like asking for which age bracket. I did notice that the 51 to 60 bracket, which I'm not part of thing yet, is the one with the most population, so to speak, answering that question of how old are we. So, okay, so the sequence of play here, got some illustrations. Okay, so we got some nice illustrations here showing us different things. Now this rule book's about 20-some pages, but the font is gigantic, so yeah. Facing engagement, rally phase, movement phase, skirmish zones, okay, mounted movement, alright. Trampling elephantry, nice, nice heading. Elephant rampage, great. So, you know, get trampled, cause problems. All kinds of rowdiness on these two pages. Look, charging cavalry, trampling elephantry. There's something I'm trying to say fast 3 times. And then elephant rampage. But again, I like what I'm seeing here with the... what am I pointing with my finger for? What am I doing? Gosh, you can tell it's been way too long. I'm out of practice. There it is. There's the pointer. So you can see there's nice illustration. The font's a little bit smaller for the examples, but I mean that's cool. That's to be expected, I think, personally myself. I'm not surprised. It doesn't throw me off either. Okay. Let's keep going here. If I can get a hold of pages, that's the one bad thing is guys with big fingers like me and small pages equals trouble. So we got combat phase, bonus combat phase, victory, initiative, fortuna, there you go. Gotta always have that, right? And, nice example of play. Hey, look at that. Right up my alley, too. Look at that. The example of play is Heraclea. Cool. That's one of the 2 Pyrrhic battles here. So that's neat. I like that. Cool. Lucky me. Alright, yes, look at that. Very cool. It shows 7, 8 turns worth of examples. And then, of course, we got some information here on the back, charts and things of that nature. Okay, very cool. Let's keep going. Let's see what else we've got here inside the box. We have the battle book. So the battle book we have, you can see there, Heraclea, Esculum, Trebia, Zama, that's both Hannibal, Pydna maybe? That's the Macedonian battle, as I recall. Second Sea Tribe does not ring a bell, neither does the Vercelli. Pharsalus, of course, is during the Civil Wars. Thapsus is, I want to say that was North African battle, right? Caesar. And Munda, I'm pretty sure, is a Caesar battle, too. Okay, let's just take a look at one page as an example. Okay, so it shows you how to set everything up. The battlefield. I think there's tiles that come with this to overlay. So it gives you all the information you need right there. That's pretty cool. Let me zoom in on one of those. We'll start with, well, again, this is my main focus here is these 2 battles because that's what I'm really interested in for this and why I picked this up. So, okay, cool. So that's a good example. The rest of them I'm assuming in the same way. So, I mean, there's no sense in going through all of it because basically it's, yeah, some of them, of course, have more notes than others, which is understandable. All right. Cool. Okay, and again on the back, you also have the whole, I guess you could call it player aid card, so to speak. We got another booklet in here, though. What? Okay, this is interesting. Another booklet. Okay. Alright. A brief and digressive but mostly accurate military history of the Roman Republic with jokes. Oh boy, jokes. You know what that means. Either going to be really good or really bad when it comes to history jokes. Okay, the Pyrrhic Wars. Hey, nice. Alright, that's cool. Alright, so like a little history booklet here. That never hurts to have that kind of stuff. So, alright. And the other are footnotes. Look at that. That's something you don't see every day. Okay, cool. Let's check out here the game board and the game pieces. Now I'll wrap things up here. The pieces, as you can see there, nice and bright and colorful. And of course they're the laser cut. So you know they'll be nice and sturdy and easy to grab a hold of. Nothing too fancy there. But you don't necessarily need fancy, especially an ancient game. I mean, let's be serious. You know? And here's the terrain stuff. So that's cool. Okay. And we got some more counters. For like the legions and stuff, it would seem. I'm guessing. Some of that is legions, because they have H's and stuff on them, but maybe not. Okay, and then of course we have the battle map itself, which this should be no big surprise. Since we have terrains for overlays, then the map itself, which is paper of course, not surprisingly, is pretty basic. Just a green field that you'll be able to put your troops on and march forth against your opponents. Because the author of the Pierce biography I read put it rather kind of pithy and pointedly and eloquently as well too, basically saying, you know, ancient warfare was about running around, beating the snot out of the countryside, the people, to force the enemy to be like, dude, we can't let this go on, and show up with an army and say, okay, time to fight, people. You know, that's pretty much what went on. That's how he kind of described Pierce's whole adventure in Italy. So anyway, so there you go. That's what you have inside the box of the Grass Crown. For those of you who are wondering, those of you who are regular subscribers to my channel, if you're wondering what in the wide world of sports happened to Absolute War, I haven't seen it yet. I don't know if any of you have received a shipping notice. I have not. I did contact GMT Games when they were getting things ready to see if I could get mine, you know, like first in the queue kind of thing. You know, not free or anything, because I paid for it. I pre-ordered it and stuff, but I was told that wasn't possible. So okay, so I'm waiting on it like everybody else. I've been skimming the rulebook though, because Carl is the most interesting designer when it comes to how he sees things with the Eastern Front. So I am looking forward to it and giving it a whirl when it finally shows up. Supposedly Race to Moscow is going to be here by the end of the year too. I saw that. And what else did I see? Tarot 1943 is supposed to be showing up from Worthington Games, as well as that Siege triple package that I got, the Quebec, Syracuse, and Malta. And then, of course, which is different, that's the Knights of Malta versus the Siege of Malta, which is the game, the States of Siege game that was published by VPG, and apparently Worthington is doing that one, which is good. Now, just need Worthington to somehow get a hold of the rights to We Must Tell the Emperor, because the prices for that are astronomical. Alright, so there you go. So that's kind of an update. What's been going on, what I've been doing. Like I said, when I feel like my Alexander is a little more tested, I'm still wrestling with how I want to do combat, because it's clearly an operational game. But simulating the hardest thing I found with the combat, just very quickly, is trying to give the Persians a chance to win the battles, but also making sure that the genius of Alexander and the absolute efficiency, deadliness of the war machine that he inherited from his father, which was awesome, and then Alexander took it, in my opinion, to another whole level with how he handled battles. That I'm trying to kind of juggle, because you do want to have those outlier possibilities. That, yeah, maybe the Persians were able to win. Maybe they were able to do a better job. Because, you know, in the reading I've done in the last month and a half, I guess it's been very heavily reading. You know, Darius he's not quite the buffoon I think that some people think he is, or how he's sometimes portrayed. You know, he wasn't a bad military commander. He just was in some ways overmatched, and then his execution was always not the best in the world. So, anyway, so all that, hopefully to come down the pike as I keep working on this, because, you know, I do want to try to do this. I want to give it a shot. If I can get it organized, polished, or let me take that back. When I get it organized and polished to the point where I want it to be, and I feel it's feasible, then at some point I'm going to try Kickstarter, which I've never done before, but, you know, I'm going to try that. Or maybe I'll just self-publish it and, you know, post a thread somewhere, or, you know, post here on the channel and let you all know it's available. And you can buy it from me. Anyway, that's all down the road. For now, there's your look at the grass crown and what I've been up to. And this, of course, is Tim Korchnoy from Bare Bones Wargaming, saying thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, perhaps from the steppes of Maharashtra, but perhaps from the grass crown, or, like I said, I also picked up table battles, mostly for the Alexander expansion. So, Hollandspiele needs to do a Roman Republic expansion. I would pick that up. So we'll see if they will. Alright, as always, thanks for watching. See you next time.